Hi, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
This is Patrick Stat Spore, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana, and this is still Spaceboy Universe. It is March the 16th, 2019, and tonight's show is kind of an open topic roulette, as we like to say. And as always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me. That's Spaceboy at Spaceboy Music. Make sure to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. In addition to Twitter, you can find us all over social media. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets, you'll want to check out the YouTube channel. That's right, we do more than the archive of shows there. There is video content from SB Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell to be notified when new content is available. Say, can't catch a show live? No problemo. Take SBU on the go via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartMedia, and Spotify, because, man, we like to broadcast. And on that magical note, let me bring in the lovely co-host, Surlana. How are you tonight?
I apologize ahead of time. I am kind of out of it. I'm not feeling great, so...
I'm sorry.
If I seem blah, that's why I'm really... I'm really congested right now, so...
Well, hopefully it's not about the news that we started to broadcast last week and put out there. But I'll go ahead and, reiterate what is kind of out there.
You go making up your own words again.
Yeah. For 4 years, we have explored the universe with our Space Cadets, and we have had a wonderful time doing that. Wouldn't you say so, Surlana?
Sure.
Okay. That's a good answer. Both Surlana and Spaceboy have met many interesting people over the years. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Absolutely.
We'll talk about some of those people we've met.
We can do that another time.
And people and made some long-lasting friendships. But we have decided to go September 28, 2019, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time will be the last SBU broadcast. We will miss many of you, but you will find something new to continue on with your lives.
Yeah.
But in that after SBU, we'll still be posting our social media accounts and stuff. Website will still be up there, so if you wanted to go check that out.
Not me. I'm going to go completely underground.
But we're out there if you want to reach out to us. And so from the bottom of our hearts, you have a heart, right, Surlana?
It has not been confirmed.
We want to thank you for exploring the universe with us. And I know that it's shocking to many of y'all that are to the one that's listening.
Yeah.
And
all two of you.
Oh, we got another person in our chat?
Yeah, look.
It's okay. Yeah, I forget the other chat room too. Sorry.
We've now got two chat rooms.
There we go. Solaris is there. But anyway, there will be some kind of creativity still out there, and I guess you'll just have to wait and see how things unfold, and you've got us till September, so
And that means that the Spaceboy Universe store is still open. So now, between now and, let's say, October 1st, this is your chance to get a collector's item. Go to Spaceboy Universe, click on Shop, get yourself some merchandise from either Spaceboy Universe or Spaceboy Music. And that's a good question. I'll have to ask it depends on what the cost of keeping the domain and hosting is.
Well, I can already answer that. I'll be paying to keep I know
Spaceboy Music will always be there.
Mm-hmm. We also still have a DBA of doing business as Spaceboy Universe, so
which we can't find.
And I can't remember when we renewed our hosting, but I know when I renewed it was for a year.
Okay.
So that's not going anywhere.
But we'll probably end up closing down a bunch of other stuff that we don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, social media. My Facebook, I've always been using my personal Facebook, so that's not ever going anywhere. So, no, Kay, my friend who does that with me, her life just doesn't allow for it. Unless we could change it over to Horse Rescue Hour, which we could, but because that's what she's really involved in.
Kay might be insinuating that maybe you should do your own show without me.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to run this stuff. It would have to be some very basic setup, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, we're not like disappearing off the face of the earth. I mean, we're going to still be like everyday social media, Facebook. I mean, it's not like we're closing up and going underground or something. I think
that Solaris is saying that she's going to miss our back and forth and our show as it is. I mean, let's think about it. We've really created something special here. I mean, there's
only a few people know about.
I mean, it's been a labor of love, and it's given you an opportunity to know where I'm at on a Saturday night.
Like that was ever a problem.
I
know where you are every second of every day.
She's wanting to know where the spaceship's going to go.
It knows which way to go.
Yeah. It knows.
I think my spaceship knows which way to go. God, that's a sad song. Yeah, I have not. Can you tell I have not prepped for this show at all? I haven't done any news. I haven't done any banter. There's no content.
No,
I've just had a rough week.
I was hoping this would be just an open forum kind of show. If people want to call in, in fact, if they do want to call in, what number do they need to call?
We're using the Skype number tonight because that has money on it, and that's 713.
713.
I can't remember.
713-701-5214.
That's what it is. I can't remember Jack, man. 713-701-5214. That is yes, Kay, we will have dinner with any space cadet
comes to Houston
or broadcaster who is a fan or a colleague. If you come to Houston and you're visiting, you can call us and we will have dinner with you. We may not pay for your dinner, but we can have dinner with us. So if you come back on some kind of mission, K-28, we'll be there. And you can always get the number from Dino. Because Dino has your number, literally.
Yes, he does.
As far as I've heard from him, but yeah. So anytime tonight in a broadcast, if you want to call in, 713-701-5214. That's the Skype number.
And we tested the test. Sorry about that. A yawn kicked in, and I apologize. Look at there. Somebody's
There's
calling.
An unknown. I love it when it's unknown. Hello, unknown person.
I'm an unknown.
Hey,
Hi.
Solaris.
Hey, Solaris. Oh,
I'm calling to say I love both of you, and I'm really bummed out.
Well, we love you too.
And I want you to know that you don't just have a few listeners. I'm pretty sure you have more than that. So I'm sure you have a good reason, but I will miss you. But I do hope you try to keep your website up or do something like that. And
Well, it's a shrine to what we've done over the past 4 years, and
yeah.
it was kind of like I was feeling a little sentimental today, and I listened to like one of the earlier shows, like when we first started doing this on YouTube, because that's when we first started doing it, and it was interesting to listen to a show 4 years ago and how much it's changed and metamorphosized into what it is now.
right. Well, I can understand when you get burned out or something. I just want, as long as you have a really good reason for doing it, because in my opinion, this is just me as your friend too. You guys built something very, very special indeed, and it's very unique. And I think that if you're not getting the results you want immediately, it's still pretty new. So don't give up on that. I mean, it takes me years and years and years, to build that foundation. But you have built a foundation, and you're awesome. I will miss you so much. I don't think you realize that. Sometimes people are immune to their own talents, but both of you are very gifted. So just a heads up.
Well, hold on, let me back up from a mic. It's a long way to September, and who knows what can happen between here and there. But we kind of just put a goal out there that, at least if we get to September, that'll be 4 years under our belt that we've provided our entertainment to everyone. So
She makes me feel bad because I don't know that we have a good reason. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I don't like to be like pushy. You know how Aries I am. But I swear to you, it makes me angry. I'm so like, no, you can't. It's like building a masterpiece and burning it. So I don't know. That's just my own take.
Does that sound like me?
That does. That's very punk rock.
Worlds, the same thing. I have hyperspace and you know how long I've been doing Ravenstar's Witching Hour? Almost like 9 years now.
Wow.
I can't believe I've been over there that long, and I'm thinking I was going to like resign from that too. But there are people that listen, and I don't know yet. I just think there's a special place for both of you, and I hate to see y'all walk away, but you can always resurrect it. But I would say just you'll have some time now. There's a big window there, and if there's anything that needs to be worked out, I mean, whatever it is, you need more donations to keep the site running, whatever you need, let's try to work it out if that's the case, or something like we can repair, something that we can help you with. Just a heads up.
I think more on my end, it's a little burnout, and that I just feel like if this could be my job, I could do so much more with it, but because we do have to have the 7 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever jobs, it's just like it keeps edging out all the time.
And there's a part of me, Solaris, that I feel bad because I did drag her into this, and she would have never done this in the first place if I hadn't kind of did smoke and mirrors at the beginning to get her to come along. But I mean, you can vouch for me and tell her that she's a great. She's really great at this, and
But I'm not trying to be great at it. I just
you don't have to be.
I don't know why I'm getting. I don't even know why I'm even involved in this. When I'm kind of sad about this, but I will very easily get absorbed into just going back in my own little world and reading my books and never being seen or heard from again.
I kind of understand that. There's a side of me that wants to do that too and go to the Batcave. I totally get it. Mm-hmm. I really do, and I'm being selfish. I am. But I'm sure everybody else would be selfish too, because you really have established something very professional. Just want you to know that.
Well, my favorite parts have been when we would be on one of your shows as a guest, because I love being a guest.
Well, hey, anytime you want to be on either one of my shows, all you have to do is let me know, and I'll be hunting you down. So if you feel like you want to get out there, hey, just let me know.
Well, I just really enjoyed that, because I don't know if it's just something because it's we're both women and we get along or something like that, or it's just... Oh, we're both Aries. That's right. Birthday's coming up next month.
Oh my God!
And I fanboy about being our friendship, because I remember the first time I heard you on Fade to Black, and I was just immediately like, okay, where else is she at? Where's her program? And your cadence has always been one thing that's attracted me to you as a personality and as a person and as a human.
Oh, thank you. And likewise, I have so much respect for both of you. It's interesting, we just kind of meshed, all of us got together, and seemed like the energetic was just there. Yeah, so thank you. And like I said, you've been very supportive. And 1 Million Miles to Midnight, you wrote my beautiful music. I mean, my goodness.
And we mention you at the end of our program every night, and even play during a break. I guess the thing I recorded with you saying you're listening to Spaceboy Universe, and so yeah, it's just there's no doubting how much we love and admire you, Sir Loris, and the input that you've given us on a what's the word I'm looking for on
from a professional
from a professional point of view, and it's not gone unnoticed. There's only one person I can think of that has done that same kind of effect is Patrick Sporer, and we love him to death too, and then of course we get calls from Dino.
Yeah. I'm going to make it a mission of mine to read one of your books. And I hope to God I can understand it and I can ask you intelligent questions about it.
You'll be able to edit and go, well, God, why didn't she punctuate this?
Oh, don't even get me started. I've read so many books in the last 3 months that you can self-publish now really easily. Go straight to Amazon. And a lot of people don't realize they need someone else to read it first. And it's not just punctuation. It's also like, wait, you said the sky was blue over here. Now it's this color. What happened? Are we supposed to know? I look for the logic holes. I'm like, is it supposed to be here? Is it not? I mean, that's the English major in me.
That's excellent, though. And do you do editing? Seriously?
I've done it for my friend Leanne because she wrote a book and self-published it, and she's beating herself up over it. She's going to take it back down. In fact, she is trying to rope me into... She's one of these people, you just want to smack her upside the head, slopping over with ideas and talent, all kinds of talent, not just for writing. And she has to write up these files so she doesn't forget these ideas. And she called and told me about one she's developing. And then one, she bounced an idea off of me, and I kind of gave her some more input. And so now she wants to bring me in as a co-author. And I'm like, I can't write jack crap, but I can. I can tear your stuff apart.
Well, if you can tear it down, you can build it up. There you go.
Yeah.
That's good. But thank you for the kind words, too. And like I said, I'm always here for you, and I admire both of you, like you wouldn't believe. And yeah, so I was like shocked. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But I get it, too.
Even Tina posted something on Facebook about it, too. I was like, whoa.
I've kind of been staying away from that stuff about... I haven't read any of the comments about us ending. I'm not ready to look at that just yet. So if I'm not commenting or to say anything, don't take it personally. Anybody, I'm still processing this. And as we get on, I might be able to say something later, but no one be offended by my silence, please.
And like I said, September's still a ways off, and there's nothing to say we can't change our minds
or change the format or how we do the broadcast or the frequency with which we do it.
Yeah,
or
what about once a month or something? I'm not trying to plant seeds. I'm just saying,
that might be something to think about. It's just this every week thing is really starting to get pressure on me. So
I can understand. I do 2 shows a week, and I totally get it. They're nice, and I've never had a weekend off, seriously, unless I'm doing a workshop or something.
That's been us, just a constant
now if we
nonstop
did
every
this
week.
as jobs for a network like a local Houston radio show, that would be completely different, and then free time would be free time.
Right.
But
have you pitched it, though? Because that would be an idea too.
Do it now?
Pitch it locally. Pitch your show locally. See if you can do that.
I think we did that once or twice, and it just no one gives a time of day. So we're like, well, you don't need us. We don't need you. So
I can't imagine that. Like I said, you both are very talented. There's a lot of, I know there's something about you both with this whole show. So, and I know how to seek talent, and I know what talent is, and you definitely have it. So however it formulates itself, but maybe you'll just go by that, like once a month or something. And
I guess what you're just listening to is just our marriage.
No, I get it, though. Like, there's times I just want to walk away from my shows and just say I'm done. I actually almost started to say that with Raven Star's Witching Hour, and then 24 hours later, I was like talking to Hawk, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm back, because I was going to resign.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I get it. I totally get it. It's taxing after a while, and it can be kind of noxious, too. And I don't even know what I do with my weekends anymore, actually, after Friday and Saturday nights. So.
And I think from my perspective is that, because I'm constantly combing over social media, that stuff is so toxic. And for me, it's just, I'm afraid that, as Surlana always says, careful, Icarus, that I'm going to put my foot in my mouth over something I might have read, and then we're going to be attacked one way or another for stupid stuff. And
that could happen at any time. Whether even before we ended all that could still happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you should do is just leave a professional page for Spaceboy Universe or whatever, a professional page for both of you, and then just stay off the other part. I know I actually burned my bridge years ago because I had a big mouth and I didn't realize it. And then I was just kind of rambling on about, oh my God, I was on fire like years ago. And then I finally looked back and deleted it. But they have all the files. So it doesn't matter. I mean, if they want to pull something on me, they can. But, where I've been, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are all recorded, of course. Anybody could go back and pull out anything they want and make a snippet and have us say whatever, But as far as social media, when it comes to writing and put it out there, even before we had the show, I've always been somewhat careful because I don't feel like burning bridges with friends and family over something that, well, maybe it does matter, but it doesn't matter. It's not worth losing anyone over. So, and if I'm going to debate about something, I want to get up in their physical face. I'm like, yeah, you want to say that to my face? Come over here. And usually that doesn't happen. So
it is. And then, within 24 hours, usually it tapers off anyway. It's kind of like, I think the impulse responses is what I'm seeing more and more on Facebook right now and social media, and that's why I'm just kind of getting away from it for the most part. I'm posting pictures or promoting the radio show, but yeah, I get it. I really do, and I'm thinking about just bailing on that too. So you never know. We'll see what happens. Also, this whole year's going to be very interesting. And we've got a lot of weird going on in the United States, so who knows where we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. For sure.
Do some prepping, maybe. Oh yeah. Well, pollen's getting me.
Yeah, my whole world is strange anyway. But yeah, but I don't want to hog this radio or the line. I just want to.
No, we've got nothing tonight. We've just got nothing. No prep.
We're freestyling.
This is total freestyle.
Great, I love it.
But sometimes our best conversations come from freestyles.
Yeah, exactly.
Or our bitterest arguments.
Well, Solaris, you know how much we care about you, and I can't say it enough how much we do care about you, and I guess it shows, little things. Like, I guess recently, Surlana did that banner thing for you, and just little things like that, whether it be music or things like that, whatever you need, just let us know. We like doing that.
Or book editing or whatever.
Thank you. I have a new book coming out in a few months, so I'll be sure to let you know.
Plug.
Yep. If you need me, you know where to find me, but I'll let you go so you can, maybe somebody else will call in, but I just want you to know I love you too, and I'm always here for you.
Awesome.
Day or night, never in the illusion of space and time. So, and also you have beautiful time capsules out there, so let's keep those there.
Gotcha.
All right. And take care. Energize. Tomorrow's St. Patty's Day. I don't want to say green beer, but have a good time.
Okay, I'll do that.
Green cupcakes. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I'll let you go. I love you both. Have a wonderful night.
You too, Solaris.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that makes me want to cry.
Well, it's hard. She truly has been a big supporter of the show,
yes.
and that's why I've put her at the end of our show, thanking her, special thanks. That list being like her, Dino, K28,
it's very
Bob
interesting. And Bev. You just wanted to do a broadcast. That's all you wanted to do. You weren't trying to go for fame and glory, although I think you would have embraced it if that happened. And then you suckered me into it, and so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I couldn't get out of it. So you're just trying to do a broadcast, but it's amazing how many people get upset about things, and don't want you to do that. And, it's been interesting to make friends and then lose them and find out, who sticks and who doesn't.
I know that hit you pretty hard. it's been a road paved of losing some people that we really loved and liked, and for whatever reason they decided not to listen anymore or go their own way.
Or be friends.
I guess that's just the nature of the beast. We're trying to provide entertainment, and there's going to be people that will come into our lives and leave. Mm-hmm. It's an inevitability. The cycle of life, that we have. I
try to look at it like, before we did this show, we were fine with whatever we had, and we'll be fine after, if there's an after.
I mean, the reality is we're fine still. I mean, we may be a little tired from now and then, but
at least we still have each other, and you've got a cool haircut. That's all that matters.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, dear. I'm going for the new millennial manly cut.
Yeah, he's got a cool haircut, and about 2 weeks ago, I got mine cut like normal, but then I dyed it jet blue black. So we kind of match, I guess.
Had to break down and get some pomade to help with my hair.
Yeah. Trying to keep it together,
So, I even trimmed my beard too. I mean, it's still long, but I mean, it's not like trying to attack like Cthulhu.
Okay. It's pretty strange, babe.
Just going all over the place,
Saying hi to Bev if that's you over in SBU chat all by yourself.
Yeah, it's Bev.
I don't know, Kay was there for a bit, but no.
Kay likes to go back and forth.
Did you see what Kay put? He put in both chats, he said, if you're not on the air anymore, but if I come to Houston, can I still have dinner with you? I'm like, duh.
Sure.
Any space cadet that visits Houston.
And in fact, I would be...
We'll have dinner with you. We won't pay for it, but...
I'd be pretty ticked off if I found out that someone came to Houston and didn't let us know they were going to be here so that we could try to meet up.
If you're a fan, a fellow broadcaster, a colleague, we'll meet up. No worries.
So, just passing this message along to Bev. Catalina wants you to come back to Spreaker.
Really, how am I doing, Bev? I'm congested, nasal congestion. That's why I sound a little weird. I kind of feel like I'm out of breath because I'm not getting enough air right now. I'm going to get some nose spray at the break.
It's a little stuffy in here.
It's a little stuffy, but it's not sweaty like last time in here. It was so... You and I were melting. We would go get some ice. We'd go get a drink with ice in it, and the ice would be gone in 3 minutes.
Our AC guy took our compressor out of the machine, and he had to order a new one. And so supposedly we're waiting for the new one to come in so he can come back and put the new one in. So at some point we'll get AC again, and that will be nice. But for the past couple of days, there's been a lot of cloud cover and some rain here and there, and that's cooled off the weather significantly to the point where it's actually pretty reasonably comfortable in the house.
Yeah, so the weather's helping us out a bit, especially between like 2 and 6 a.m. in the morning is when it gets the coolest. But yeah, so someday we may have AC again. I live in hope. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we're getting close to the break.
Yes, but...
So, when we come back, do you want to address Captain Marvel?
We could talk about that.
We did see it, and I don't know how to...
Since I didn't put out my Captain Marvel video.
There's a way we could probably discuss it without spoiling it, because there's how we felt about it, and seeing it, and what our impressions were, and what is the larger statement it's trying to make that's not even to do with, the movie itself. So, and then of course, it's Women's History Month, so I think it's fitting that we talk about this kind of stuff. I was going to do that as a topic for today, but time got away with me this week, and we still have some of this month left.
Remember how last year we did Women's History Month?
Yeah.
The various women
there's still time to do it. We've got some March left, is what I'm trying to say. There's still time for me to try to do this. But I can tie it in loosely with this theme and how Marvel's going forward with more female superheroes.
So when we come back, we'll talk some more and even take your calls. So don't touch that dial.
Let me open it.
listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back. How you doing?
I'm not You can ask Spaceboy. I've been doing and saying weird things all day.
And forgetting.
Completely spaced out.
Got in the car today, and I was waiting for you to open the door, and she's like, well, where's your key? You know? Hello? I told you I didn't have a key. Anyway.
Well, then also telling you for a week that...
Oh, that was classic.
Telling you for a week that...
Okay, hold on.
The driver...
You've been telling me that the window is broke on
That's what I'm trying to say, okay? The car is 15 years old, so it's logical that window, the electric window, would quit working. It's that old.
So I get in the car, and I realize, hey, here's your problem. Apparently, the passenger side has a lock on the window. It's a child-proof thing. And she didn't realize that
I don't know we had that.
Didn't know she had it. So I went.
Had that.
So I went click, and I went.
Well, there's what, $200 saved, maybe.
Yeah, thank God.
That we don't have. So I feel like I'm too loud. Let me get away from this mic.
I can back you down.
I just feel like I'm really loud. Of course, I just don't want to hear me at all. All right, so Sunday.
On the
10th, we saw Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you and I were tainted by her comments before we went to see the movie or what, but...
Do you have her comments?
I read them verbatim last show.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. So, I would encourage you to go back and just listen to that, because I'm going to go over that again. Anyway, so, Captain Marvel, it was an okay movie. It was fine.
Yeah, it was one of those.
It's all right.
It was all right.
If you're dedicated
that's the best part of the movie.
Watching every MCU movie, because they are all linked, and you will need to see in-credit, mid-credit roll scenes, because they all link up like that. So yeah, you're going to have to see it because it's part of the narrative. So I don't know if I'm biased now because of all that stuff she said before the movie went on.
How about you direct some questions at me?
Okay, what did you think about Brie Larson as an actor being like a superhero? What was your take on her acting ability?
You know, what makes me upset about her performance is, they brought her in because she was an Academy Award winning actress. And,
really?
Yeah, for The Room. We'll talk about the movie another time.
I'm taking that's not the Tommy Wiseau
No.
The Room.
No.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know why that's funny.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So anyway, but her performance was kind of dull for a superhero.
Lifeless.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's because of what they did to her, the aliens did to her, because she wasn't human anymore, or if she just can't act. But then you say she won an award, so like maybe that's not it.
Well, the part I want to jump right into immediately is that I listen to a lot of channels on YouTube that talk about nerd culture in general. A lot of Star Wars, a lot of MCU, and it's something I enjoy doing. So the thing is that Midnight's Edge had talked about how great the music was for this particular movie. And,
I'm like, what?
And, sure, they brought some popular 90s songs to the movie, but then they mentioned something about it being like Thor Ragnarok, and there was just no way the comparison cannot be, because when you go and when you're watching Thor Ragnarok and you see Thor come back after getting his butt kicked from Hela,
everything, yeah.
And they start pumping in
and they start playing Immigrant Song, and you're like, yes!
And you're like, oh yeah, Thor's about to kick some butt. I did not get that feeling.
But also, with Thor, you had all this build-up. They did a really good job on that film.
Had a good director for that film.
You already knew Thor. You're already rooting for him. He's already beloved. So they had backstory. It had, establishment.
Another cool thing about Thor Ragnarok's music, I can't remember which Devo member, but it was a member of Devo that had did a lot of music in...
Probably Mark Mothersbaugh, because after Devo, he did a lot of, commercial work. He did, the theme for the Rugrats animated show. So it's probably Mothersbaugh. That's the lead guy.
So you get a lot of... It's a lot of electronic music through that movie, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
You're talking about Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. And I bring that up because the movie Captain Marvel... Excuse me, sorry, I'm getting the burps here, and I'm being so unprofessional here.
I've heard so much worse. Don't worry about it.
And I guess our audience has. They listen to the show, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the music was a downer, and there was also some music that was used to push the agenda.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
They made it really freaking obvious when they had a fight scene to No Doubt's "I'm Just a Girl." Now, I'm like, could you be more obvious? Oh my goodness!
Now I'm a fan of Gwen Stefani.
Oh yeah, I love No Doubt.
And yeah, and her solo stuff too.
Nothing against the band or her.
It's just how the song was used to push the agenda. That's the problem with nerd culture, is that there's this agenda
divisive.
being pushed. It's very divisive, and all the nerds want to do, and I include myself in that group, is we just want to go see a good movie and enjoy it.
I don't care who's the lead, if it's a man or a woman.
And right, and this goes back to Ghostbusters. When I said, hey, the guys had their chance. Let's see what the girls can do. Change it up a little bit. There was this big holdout for Ghostbusters. Now they're going to actually reunite the remaining guys.
Somehow. Back to this. We won't get off on that tangent. We can talk about that separately later. Ghostbusters, because that's a whole universe.
I'm only using Ghostbusters as an example of the feminism thing.
Yeah, but there was a lot of really obvious. Okay, the theme. It's a positive theme, really, where you see her. You're going through her memories, because they scanned her memories, and you're seeing every time she fell down as a little girl all the way up to flight school, and you see her she picks herself up over and over and over again.
I mean,
and the whole thing where I forget his name. They never said his name. The guy that the British guy plays, the lead. He keeps saying, "I made you, I made you, I made." That is a male saying.
Jude Law.
That Jude Law, his character, he kept telling her, Veers. Her name was Veers before we found out her name was Carol. She kept telling her, don't spoil it. Kept telling her, "I made you, I made you, I made you." So that's a man telling a female, "I made you what you are. Or I can help take it away." So again, there is another little agenda there, and I'm like, okay, that couldn't be more obvious.
And then the poor taste of the joke of the airman who tells her there's a reason they call it a cockpit. And I was like, that was really unnecessary. So
anyway, I'm like, but you had said you enjoyed seeing Samuel L. Jackson and Coulson, and they de-aged the crap out of both of those men. With technology.
I'm just going to say this. If I was into it, I definitely go out with Coulson, because he looked.
Coulson is cute.
He is good looking.
He's a cutie. I'd go with him now. I mean,
he's still a good looking guy.
Yeah.
But that de-aging thing.
We would both date him.
Yes, that's.
I'm sure he'd be thrilled. Clark Gregg is the man who plays Agent Coulson. So you said to me, you wish both of them were in the movie more. And I'm like, well, they probably couldn't afford all the technology to keep two of them de-aged for the whole film.
I thought that they underused the both of them.
I did enjoy the plot twist, and I won't get into that, so don't spoil it. That was a little bit refreshing, because I stayed away from the social media that talked about the content of the movie before we saw it. So, I appreciated that. The guy who played the lead Skrull, he was in
Ready Player One.
He was in Ready Player One as the bad guy.
He also was in Rogue One
as the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And here he kind of played the bad guy. So he's good at playing bad guys. But I did enjoy his performance in this movie. I
want to point out the breakout star for this particular movie.
I'm getting to that.
Okay. Well, cool.
But I'm trying to say, you did enjoy seeing Sam Jackson and Coulson, but you said everything. But given that you and I both didn't care that much for Bree's performance, the other two weren't in the movie enough. We only had this one other guy to scroll to go off of. So let me tell you about the character that stole this movie away from every single actor, every single person that ended up on screen was the cat. And the cat wasn't a cat. The cat was actually an alien. And I won't go any further. But the cat was probably the most freaking professional actor on that set.
Goose.
And the reason they called him Goose, now his name's Chewie in the comic books, but because Disney owns MCU, I guess they didn't really want to cross those streams. And if I can mix nerd metaphors for you there and get you all worked up. So they changed it to Goose, and Goose was the call sign of the guy from Top Gun, one of the main characters in Top Gun. So you've got the Top Gun because Carol Danvers was a test pilot in the U.S. Air Force. So there's that tie there. They consciously changed the cat's name, and they don't know this cat is an alien until one of the Skrulls get near it, and he's like, "Why do you have that thing on board? That is a flurkin." So go look that up. Now, what absolutely cracked me up so hard is after we'd seen the movie, I'd come back. So now I can look at whatever social media stuff about it, right? Before I think tickets went on sale or it went live, the Marvel production went on YouTube Live and had a live stream of just Reggie. Reggie's the cat that plays Goose. And they put him on a closed set with, a cat bed and toys. And for 52 minutes, they filmed him just running around a set with its trainer. And people were going insane. Or if you read the comments on that thing, they're like, this is the highest quality content that this film production's ever put out. Would watch. 10 out of 10. So people love Goose. Or Reggie, So that's why I had him as my Facebook banner for a week until I find something else to change it to. But I'm going to be very upset if we never see that cat again. Now, there's some end credit scenes, and I won't tell you about it. You can just go look them up. I'm sure they're on YouTube by now. But if he's got nothing to do in Endgame, that's going to be a crappy movie.
What, the cat?
The cat.
Well, spoilers, I've heard that he goes and he kicks Thanos' butt.
No, I don't think so. Because the cat's an alien, it has a unique, if you want to call it ability, or a characteristic that's very different, and I kind of wonder wouldn't it be cool if Ant-Man was involved in that, but I won't say any more about that.
You're limiting very much what I can say.
Well, I'm trying to... it's only been a week. What, or two?
So I think that who else, is going to go see this movie? I think anybody... Well, okay, I do want to mention something that Stan Lee has 2 cameos in this movie. And the beginning of if you've ever seen any Marvel movie, you know how it kind of opens up and you have this flicking of the comic book pages. And as it's coming up, all the pictures you're seeing are Stan Lee over the different movies that he's been a part of over these Marvel movies. And so it was very tear-jerking to watch.
We watched a video of Kevin Smith.
Oh, man, that was...
he's Silent Bob of Jay and Silent Bob and all that stuff. Well, Stan Lee has a cameo in Captain Marvel, and he's playing himself,
yeah.
which he's never, ever, ever done in any Marvel movie. And he's playing himself because he's on the bus where Captain Marvel is kind of tracking an alien down. She knows it's on the train.
You've probably seen that in the trailer. You've seen it.
And so Stan Lee's on this tram, and he's got the script for Mallrats, which was a Kevin Smith movie from 1995.
Stan Lee played a part in that movie. What? Why are you rolling your eye?
Just go ahead and finish it.
No.
I got jelly beans. I don't even need to talk.
You know, this is people pay to watch or listen to both of us.
No, I don't.
So
I got proof no one's paying.
Anyway, the thing is that he was rehearsing his lines on the tram, the lines that he says in the movie Mallrats, and so and it was kind of touching that you see Captain Marvel kind of acknowledge him, and he smiles back at her. I guess while she's doing Terminator mode, looking for the alien that she's trying to hunt down. So Kevin Smith on YouTube talks about, how awesome, first, what was it, Fight, or who's running MCU right now, trying to draw it out of you?
No, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, come on, talk to me.
You got it all down.
I'm about to get a hissy fit here.
Who are you talking about?
Talking about you. Who's right? Kevin? Is it Kevin Feige?
I never know how to say his last name. That guy.
Anyway, the main guy from the MCU that's overseeing all this calls up Kevin Smith and tells him, "Hey, look, this is what we're thinking about doing, and we really are having kind of a hard time with the vocal part." And so, yeah, Kevin Smith said, "Yeah, we had him do several takes of the voice." And I believe they incorporated that back into Captain Marvel.
Because they couldn't get it clean, because he was kind of...
Yeah.
He wasn't himself. He was getting sick.
Yeah. But at the end, basically what I was trying to get to is that Kevin Smith got very emotional about the use of his material being in the movie, and it was very touching.
Mm-hmm. So some good came out of it.
Yes.
But, so those were pretty much our impressions. If nothing else, to see the mid-credits sequence and end-credits sequence was probably worth it. It's going to, of course, it ties to Endgame. And, of course, then there's the Endgame trailer that came out.
Which I'm going to just tell you anyway, because they tell you these things on YouTube anyway. The end credits, you basically have the pager that I guess Nick Fury is holding, and he's trying to page Captain Marvel. And through the movie, and I won't give this away, you get to figure out what the origins of how the pager came to be.
Yes, you do find that out.
And but the pager apparently loses juice, and they're trying to hook it back up to another battery source of some kind. And when I say they, I'm referring to like Captain Rogers and
Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah, Natasha, Black Widow, and then all. I think all of a sudden it goes out again, and then from out of nowhere, like a ninja in the middle of the night, Captain Marvel pops up behind both of them and says, "Where's Fury?"
Because she told Fury, "Here, I've fixed this for you. If you need me, you can call me. I can hear you up to 3 galaxies away," or something like that.
Anyway,
so, she heard.
So I thought that was kind of cool. So,
I know we're getting close to a break, but there are some things in the Endgame trailer we might have missed. I don't know if you want to talk about. There's 8 things. If you want to do that when we come back, or is it too early?
Will it spoil the movie?
I don't think. I don't see how.
to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Yep, there's Goose, all right, in the SBU chat room.
That's because I put it there.
Yeah, I know. I see your name.
Oh, you can read. Wow.
Yeah, don't get all offended.
I'm not offended. I'm not even going to talk to you.
What? Anyway, the big MCU news that came out recently is James Gunn has quote-unquote been rehired, and I guess at some point we'll get our Guardian of the Galaxy Part 3.
I'm over it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
What?
I think when they killed Yondu, I was like, there's nothing for me anymore.
Yeah, I liked Fondue, so...
You know what I mean?
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
Something that just struck me.
What's that?
So, this movie coming is called Endgame. Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And in Captain Marvel, she or somebody kept saying, I'm not here to win the war. I'm here to end it. End it. End it. So I'm thinking, are they trying to just hammer it home here? What are they trying to tell us? You know,
with the word end?
Mm-hmm.
Like the end of the beginning?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm pretty sure it's nothing to do with Spaceboy.
Oh, well, you know, a boy can dream.
Anyway, speaking of Endgame, I was curious about the official movie poster.
Yeah.
And does the placement of certain characters show the significance of their roles in the coming movie?
Well, since you bring it up, in the poster you have Captain America like the front
and center.
Front and center. And it's interesting because some of the new Endgame trailer that's out there, you really see him getting down and getting dirty and grimy and, you know. And it's no secret that the man that plays Captain Rogers, he's ready to move on to other things.
Chris Evans?
Yeah, Chris Evans. And, you know, what would be funny is that if they brought the Fantastic Four into the MCU and then have him come back.
What, to ruin it?
Have him come back as Johnny. Flame on.
No.
What do you mean, no?
They're so lame.
I'm so lame?
No, the Fantastic Four, they're so lame.
What? I like the Fantastic Four.
They're just lame.
You like that guy that played Horatio Hornblower.
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe that was a script error.
And then the commish was the thing.
Anyway, but speaking of Endgame, so I guess I kind of understand that Chris Evans is going bye-bye. Robert Downey Jr., I think he's milked it for all that he can, right? So I'm thinking either someone will step in to be Captain America, or maybe to be all this time travel and mixing. Maybe we have a different version of him that's not him, but it's him, you know,
right.
in his role. Or maybe Bucky becomes Captain America. I would like to see more of Sebastian Stan. He is the guy that plays Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. He's nice to look at. If a significant portion of this movie could be done with most of the men shirtless, that'd be great. Especially Hemsworth. I don't know what Paul Rudd's got going on. He can keep his shirt on. He's fine. He makes me laugh.
Wait, he's got a dad bod.
Yeah, he probably. I think he might actually be ripped. He might. I think they all had to kind of be somewhat ripped.
Get some exercise in.
Except for Mark Ruffalo, because he's more of the dad bod type.
Yeah.
But you pointed out what we may end up seeing in Endgame is something called Professor Hulk.
Yes.
Where Banner and Hulk find a happy medium, and he's Hulk, but he's intelligent. He doesn't go crazy.
He'll have the strength of Hulk, but the mind of Banner.
I'm also kind of looking forward to
Cassie Lane.
Poor old Clint. And I'm pretty sure he must have lost his entire family in the snap.
Mm-hmm. I think he might have been there when the snap happened.
Sure. Why else would he be so upset? And I don't know what he thinks he's doing. He's gone rogue. He's renamed himself. We see that Natalie, finds him. Black Widow. Her name's what? Natalie or Natalia Romanoff, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She finds him and I guess brings him into the fold somehow, or
brings him back.
Brings him in. Now, she is going to have an interesting backstory if we ever get to see it, Black Widow, because from what I read, when she was really young, she got indoctrinated into the Russian spy thing really young, like almost in single digits, right?
Right.
And by age 13 or so, she was being sent out on missions, and Hawkeye's job was to go assassinate her, but he didn't know she was just a teenager and decided not to kill her. That's why she says he owes him a big debt. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's why they're friends. So that would only get explored if we had a movie starring her, which I'm thinking they're going to do. So we know we're going to keep Black Widow for a bit. So some things that...
Question on a side note here. Pick your brain for trivia about Venture Brothers. What was the name of the woman who was that Brock had a thing for? What was her name?
I can't say part of her name on air, but it was Molotov Bleep Tease.
Okay.
You didn't remember that, did you?
I had forgotten about it.
You didn't remember that one?
No.
That's what I said, bleep. Do you think she's modeled after Black Widow?
I was thinking that. Would that be so,
Yeah, she had red hair. She had a very sexy cat suit. She was Russian. It makes sense. It makes sense. If you don't know the weirdness that is the Venture Brothers, dear Lord.
We're the Venture Brothers.
Go find it. There's at least, 6 seasons now?
Something like that.
And if you've never seen it and you have the ability to pay for them all and watch them from beginning to end, you want to talk about a mind bleep.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it. First 3 seasons are the best, and they start going off the deep end.
But
it's still worth watching.
Yeah.
It's still worth watching.
There's a lot of pop culture in...
Yeah. And that's how I found out about a lot of these comic book heroes before these movies started coming out. And that... Dr. Morpheus is based off of Doctor Strange. Molotov is based off of probably Black Widow. There's that Galacticus-looking guy. Ignore me! That one. There's just tons of Batman references and just every kind of reference, even music. Duran Duran, Depeche Mode. I'll never forget those. Those are so delightful.
Bowie?
Yeah, Bowie. Bowie plays a big role. Not the actual Bowie, but the idea of David Bowie. Let's put it that way. Do yourself a favor. At least go watch the first 3 seasons of The Venture Brothers. I know that it is on Amazon Video. You may have to pay for it. Sorry, but there you go.
But definitely a hoot and a holler.
But it keeps tying in with, stuff we've been watching.
Pop culture and stuff.
But now I've only watched that trailer twice, the more recent in-game trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So they said some things you might have missed in the trailer. And I don't understand. So we see a shot of Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking a little lost. He's not wearing the suit. He's just wearing...
He's out in the neighborhood.
He's out in the neighborhood, and all the trees look overgrown. The houses look a little run down.
Right.
There's this utility post that is covered with missing persons notices. So the question is, why do some people believe people who got snapped are just missing? Did they not see them dissolve? And Ant-Man's confused too, because Ant-Man probably just dropped in out of some other time.
Well, maybe it was a situation where, let's say, like, for example, I was at home and you were at work and
you were asleep
and the snap happened, and the car's here. that kind of thing.
So now, and this one's more obvious. I don't think I missed this. We saw Black Widow several times. She had different hairstyles and hair colors and hair lengths. So it's obvious that time has passed or we'll be jumping around in time. I didn't miss that. I don't know how stupid they think I am. So we did see Captain America fighting in one of his earlier uniforms that we saw him in, where he looks more like a superhero, a cheesy superhero. So again, when is that from? I don't know how to say this woman's name. Okoye is notably missing from the New Avengers facility. She was one of the survivors of the snap in Wakanda. So she's not there. So maybe she just stayed in Wakanda.
Black Panther's
right hand
sister.
woman.
That's
I'm looking at a bald chick.
Yeah, that's the character that played Michonne. That's still playing Michonne on The Walking Dead.
Really? I didn't know that because I don't watch that show.
So
again, hairstyles are the key. They tell us a lot. So based on hairstyles, Captain Marvel seems to arrive on Earth just after the snap, because that makes sense. He gets snapped right when he's pressing the call button on that pager, that souped up pager she made him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how long they've been sitting there watching that thing. Maybe it was only a week went by or something, let's say. And then she's there because we don't know how far. Her hairstyle is very laid back, very different. Thor still has the interesting buzz cut. So his hair hasn't grown out since the snap, let's say. Nebula is suiting up alongside the Avengers. And then, of course, we see Tony is there. So and then Natasha has long red hair. You're like, what the flip time is this?
But yeah, when you see her hair at the very tips of her hair, it's still
starting
blonde.
to go blonde, yeah. So, again, the flashback scenes were shot in black and white, where they only picked out the red. And noticeable theme was highlighting the red. No one knows why Marvel chose to do this, other than, Marvel's logo is predominantly red. Red is the color to the mother company. Or alternatively, it could be like it's hinting that the Reality Stone will be important, which is it's red. In case you haven't memorized all their colors. It's red also symbolizes death, mourning, and blood. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a color everyone associates with injury and pain. And those white armored looking suits mean they're probably about to go to the quantum realm to fight this. So I'm guessing Ant-Man showing up is probably going to be integral to them figuring all this out. Oh, Rick and Morty Easter eggs. Ooh. Anyway, so it will be interesting. That's coming out next month, like the 23rd or something of April. If we go see it, that's great. If for some reason we can't, I can wait for you to buy it. Because the only thing I care about next month, right?
Yeah.
I only care about
Your
Riff
birthday.
Tracks Live. Riff Tracks Live will be their first... they did a Kickstarter campaign to get 3 films aired this year.
I'm going to tell you that if we go see Endgame, I'll probably have to get a catheter.
Oh.
Because the movie's going to be about 3 hours long.
I still don't believe that it's going to happen. But anyway, so we'll suit up. I mean, we can go get poise pads,
Walk into the theater and then hear the Avengers theme music.
Well, I think because we should eat beforehand, wait an hour, and then go to the movie. So, but I only care about next month, April 18th. There will be the first live broadcast cast of the year for Riff Tracks Live. This will be the first of 3 all year. And I just got lucky that the first one is going to be on my birthday. So you've got a new job that has been conveniently placed close to the theater that we would meet and go see this. So you get off at 4, I get off at 4. We'll have time to go eat somewhere around the theater.
Red Robin.
And then we'll be able to go in there and see Riff Tracks live, and we'll be seeing some little unknown flick called Octoman, and it looks like...
It's like my kind of movie.
It looks like a festering pile of horse crap. I cannot wait to see it. I've never heard of it, never seen it, but you know it's going to be a good time because they're going to be making fun of it live. And then there'll be 2 more, and I cannot recall what those are going to be, but the campaign is still going on. They needed $250,000 to bring 3 movies to the theater this year. They did it in 2 days, and now they've gone way, way, way over. So that means they could do some more. Oh, they're going to do something called Star Raiders starring Casper Van Dien.
That sounds familiar.
Well, it came out in 2017.
Okay, I think I know which one this is.
That will be on June 6th, and on August 15th. Now, I have some beef with this one. They're going to riff a movie that the same 3 guys riffed originally on Mystery Science Theater 3000.
You know, I'm going to answer your question with this.
I'm kind of
statement.
like...
Whatever, because we'll get to go together as a couple and see a movie, even though you've seen the movie, be re-riffed. It'll be something new and fresh.
I'm going to tell you, the Giant Spider Invasion Misty version is a freaking classic. It is so... Go to YouTube and just type it in. You can watch the whole thing. It's awesome. It's awesomely bad, but it's going to be the Giant Spider Invasion on August 15th. And yes, we will go. They only needed $250,000. They have 6 days left to go. They have $421,482 in the Kickstarter. So I wish I could give. I wish I could afford to give to them a donation. But they've unlocked some stretch goals. Guess what the top stretch goal is? And it is an audio riff of Star Wars Episode 8.
The Last Jedi?
Well, it's 1X. So what's that? Is that 9?
1X would be 9, but
9.
It's not even out yet.
Well, it's 1X riff, so they've reached that stretch goal, so we're going to have an audio track for that. So 6 days to go for that, so I'm very pleased. That means 3 times this year I'll get to see Riff Tracks live. And I'm really thrilled about that.
Well, we're all happy for you.
I know. I am the only one that gives a crap about this, so... I don't know, maybe that's why we're...
Well, you know, this week, the Orville took a day off. So Orville will be back next week with another exciting adventure tale from Seth MacFarlane. I got to tell you, this is probably the closest you'll get to Star Trek without it being Star Trek.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you didn't hear me saying anything about Mystery Science Theater, Riff Tracks Live thing.
Because you enjoy it.
You know, at least I managed to stay awake through Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Do you ever think maybe I was ill during that?
No.
Okay. All this time you're messing with me, you're not talking about the thing you care about.
No, I know, true. See, you're messing with me out of something I enjoy, and this is the portion of the show where
but you're doing it to antagonize me.
Well, is it working?
I don't care. I'm looking at other stuff while you're talking, so...
Anyway, if you haven't gotten into the Orville, you should get into the Orville. It's a great show. In fact, fairly recently, they had this massive space battle that was just off the roof. And just check it out. It's a good show. Don't listen to Surlana. It's not a Family Guy in space, as some people like to believe. It's not. And even if you have some misgivings about Seth, don't, because the people that are in this show are really great. So check out Faux Trek. You know, you'll enjoy every minute of it. Now back to our regularly scheduled program with Surlana.
I'm just looking at stuff. I think there was a conspiracy with James Gunn, because I heard you listening to something else where they decided to have him lay low, act like he was disappointed, and then don't say another word about it, and then he can have this triumphant comeback. Like it was all calculated and carefully planned.
Well, the thing is, he also got himself a job with DC doing Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah. Thank you. Suicide Squad. And he also recently did a movie that's like, what if Superman was evil when he came to Earth? And as a kid, he had a different outcome altogether. It's not a Superman movie, but when you look at it, it has the same DNA as Superman, as the beginning when he comes to Earth, and like Martha finding this baby and they taking the baby in, and I'm not saying it's Martha. I'm just using that as an example of and it looks pretty whacked out as far as
Have you heard of a movie that's coming out called Ad Astra?
Tell me more. I probably have.
Well, I said not much is known about it yet.
Who's in it?
Despite its impending release date of May 24th, its trailer has not been released. But what is known about it, it stars Brad Pitt, who is determined to find his father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, after he left on a one-way mission to Neptune 20 years earlier. Directed by James Gray, an underrated director, whose previous films is Lost City of Z, which I've never heard of. But this sci-fi film, they said it's going to be a real treat because of this director, which I've never heard of. So I'm looking at a top whatever numbers movies you should see this year that are not superhero movies. And of course, at the top, the first one they're saying you should see is John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would argue that it's superhero-ish because of the action.
Just because he kicks butt?
Yeah. He's just a regular dude, though.
He is a regular dude. He's a righteous dude.
They're also saying number 4, Rocket Man, which is the story of
Elton John.
Of Elton John. Or Bernie Taupin. And it's played by that little kid that is in the Kingsman movies.
Mm-hmm. Eggy.
Yeah. And a bunch of movies I've never heard of.
There's a movie that they released in China that did really good. It's about having to get off Earth because the sun's about to explode or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's done like over 600 million over in China. And Netflix has inked a deal that will allow them to put it on their streaming service globally. So there's a chance it looks pretty good.
Oh, let's talk about this because you made a point of telling me about it all over the phone on the way home. Spaceboy now gets off work the same time I do, so he calls me now every day at 4, and we have a conversation on the way home. Lori Loughlin won't return to Fuller House after scandal. What was the scandal? You told me about it.
Well, basically, Lori bribed the school so that she could get her daughter into the school. And
this is college you're talking about?
Yeah, college. And what gets me is Lori and her daughter did like an interview, and her daughter said, well, all I want to do is party at school, and I'm not really interested in the academics part of it. So
way to go.
So yeah, she bribed some coach to be a part of the team. Also, it was found out that when she went to take her ACTs, they had bribed the proctor, if you will. It's an actual word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
the guy presides over the test.
And on some of the, it's more than one person. some of them, they redid the test so they got a good score, and I forgot what they did for others. Where I guess
anyway, something illegal and underhanded.
It was yeah, full house. Uncle Jesse's not going to be too happy about her.
Yeah, he was telling me all this stuff. I'm like, who? Who are these people? I've never watched either show in my life, so I didn't know who he was talking about. But I was like,
I knew Dave Coulier.
From Nickelodeon. He was on there, Nickelodeon, but
cut that out.
Mm-hmm. See, I can't remember the name of that show. I loved that show when I was younger, but
I used to watch it.
Can't remember the name of that. I'm sure if I looked him up on IMDb, I could find out what it was.
I'm trying to think of the girl that was like the Urkel of that show.
The Urkel of anything is bad, babe.
The comic relief, the plucky relief.
Oh.
But it was the Candace.
Be careful when you say the Urkel.
Well, no. Candace Kirkman or Kirk Cameron, his sister, that played on that.
Okay, Grandpa.
Look, I'm trying here. I'm
frustrated old Grandpa.
No man should really know about who the friends are on the girl.
Okay, maybe you've got a point.
Because then
no grown man should know who these people are. I'll give you that one. I'll give you a pass on that one.
God, I wish I could remember.
Well, so anyway, she won't be returning to Fuller House for the 5th and final season. Final season. After playing Aunt Becky in the 80s, 90s, family-oriented sitcom Full House, and now Fuller House, blah, blah, blah. She was among 50 of the people. Oh, her husband is designer Massimo Giulianulli.
So you know him?
No. I know the name Massimo, though. Anyway, they were among 50 people indicted with regard to the scam for college admission briberies, paying bribes to get their kids accepted at high-profile schools as USC, Stanford, and Yale. The couple paid $500,000 to have their $2 get accepted to USC, that's Southern California. Aside, Desperate Housewife actress and wife to William H. Macy, Felicity Huffman, is also involved in this.
Kimmy Gibbler. That's the name of the girl. I was trying to think of her name.
Let's see. Streaming giant and Warner Horizon Television declined to comment about this at this point. So, how they're like, how are they going to write her out of the show? I'm like, who cares? But I thought that was funny. I found this on Screen Rant.
Candace Cameron is what I was
Candace
thinking.
Cameron, she's on that show, right?
Yes, Kirk Cameron's sister.
Oh.
Did you not
Again,
know?
you as an old straight man should probably even know that either, so. Sorry, our internet is just like
I miss
slow.
Okay, here let me throw you a loop. Who was your favorite America's Funniest Video host?
The last guy, probably, because I can't remember
Tom
his name.
Bergeron?
He was the least cringy, but as you and I have learned, you don't need a host for that. Just cue up the videos and put in more crotch shots of people getting hurt in that area. And it's gold. Although we do watch Cutie Pie, Jacksepticeye. They do host meme reviews, which is what basically
Memes.
Funniest Home Videos has become, the meme video. And we watched one yesterday. I was crying and howling with laughter. And I was going to put it on my Facebook wall, but there's language issues, so I don't know if everybody's cool with that or not. But I think it was cool, freaking funny.
I'm going to call Bev out because she posted her Samuel L. Jackson picture, and he's using his favorite words.
Well, It's those robots that they put together, like at Boston Dynamics or whatever. You know, those really cool robots. Somebody dubbed over it.
It was all right.
Like the robots were talking. Now, I don't know why, but this absolutely destroyed me. I could not stop laughing. I'm kind of tempted to put it, but I do have some people over a certain age that could get upset by that type of content, so I kind of have to play it safe. And I'm not talking about fans, so.
Playing it safe now. It's time to take the break.
Oh, let's do that. I'll go back to this.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt Pit. Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back, and we've passed the 10:30 time period. And what else you got over there, Surlana?
Well, I got distracted. During a break, I went to entertainmentearth.com.
Oh, they got the pulse rifle.
And I'm looking at all the stuff that, one, we don't need, probably I will not buy, and we have no room for, but I just like to look at it. And if you've never been to this site, it is nothing but just pop culture tchotchkes, swag, nerd knacks, as I call them. Funko Pops, action figures, accessories, lunch boxes, collectibles, everything you could think of.
Here's one I would love to have is the Aliens M41A1 Pulse Rifle Brown Best Prop Replica. And they want $600 for it. I mean, it looks like the actual...
Is it life size?
Yes. Even has the bullet count on the side. It looks pretty awesome.
I'm not really motivated by anything, but I am looking at all the Deadpool stuff. That's the only thing I kind of really care about anymore. No, there's a coin bank in the shape of his head. That's interesting. But anyway, I haven't felt compelled to buy any merchandise with all this stuff that's come out, or unless it's really good looking goose related. If there was some good merch out there, I've already seen a plush cat. It's supposed to be goose, and it looks all sweet and nice, but when you squeeze its chest, it gets real mean and the tentacles come out because he's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
So I type that in and see what goes on. Like I said, we did have this all planned out, and let me go ahead and just remind you, in case you're wondering why the heck are we just rambling about nothing, because we don't have anything running. It is 713-701-5214. You can call us right now or anytime before we go off the air tonight. That's the Skype number. You don't have to Skype, but 713-701-5214 if you just want to talk.
They have a life-size foam latex egg and a face hugger. So if you wanted to reproduce the thing where the face hugger pops out of the egg, you can get that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what they have for goose here. Oh, there's a goose keychain. Temporarily out of stock. Jeez. This is why I can't have nice things, because they're out of stock. I don't want Captain Marvel with it. I just want the cat. But, now, that's another thing you mentioned. Captain Marvel, for a brief moment in the movie, features a vintage lunchbox, and it's a Happy Days lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, on Entertainment Earth, they've got two different, or maybe it's the same one, lunchboxes for you to buy. And I'm telling you right now, I swear I had that lunchbox. Is this our marriage counselor?
Why, yes, it is.
Have you posted any more Samuel L. Jackson foul language gifts tonight?
No, sorry about that.
No, you say like she's done something bad.
Well, I mean, it's bad. You usually don't. It's just see these things, and Bev's just has this nice rosy
reputation,
and and then all of a sudden it's like she's about to throw down at a bar.
I have a wild side to me.
Not you. You're just too. You're so sweet.
Oh well.
And I'm sure I was going to say Bob is probably going to scream in there and says, "Don't believe him."
Well, you could say that about anyone you don't live with. That they're sweet.
Oh well, thank you. You guys are sweet too.
Oh, you just don't know.
Well, I'm just really sweet.
Well, thank you.
And fantastic.
I try.
So what's on your...
Bob will say I'm not that sweet. But I say he's not that nice neither, so. We were always ragging on each other. We pick on each other all the time.
Well, you have to. It's how you get through the day.
How you get through marriage.
I know. Good Lord. Well, what was wild is I was working first shift when we were working, and Bob was working second, so we never saw each other. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're both around each other 24/7, and it's like, oh, God, I haven't worked in 10 years. God, I would give almost anything to work again.
Well, you know, I guess on one end I could understand that, getting cabin fever.
Oh, yeah.
That would, if I worked from home, that would get to me, but I won't know until I try.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, universe.
At some point, I think I'm going to get a chance to work from home too, as well, because of my job. I can work remote, and they can allow me to do it like once.
Try not to punch you in the face.
Once a quarter. Hey, you have every opportunity to leave your job and do something else if you wanted to.
What? And how much is it going to pay?
Well,
it ain't.
You got to dip your toe into the pool. If you don't dip it,
I'm going to sit you down tomorrow, and we're going to go all through all these sites. I'm almost like, this job doesn't pay, this job doesn't pay, this job doesn't pay. I'm going to show you my skills and how they match up to the rest of Houston and how they're not paying what I'm being paid.
Hey, when I was looking for IT jobs, did I stop when I saw all these $19 and $14 jobs?
I don't know, because I wasn't with you when you were doing it. You were on your own.
And did I not find a job?
You're on your own.
See?
You have to take control of your destiny.
Oh, can I quote you on that?
If you buy me this keychain, you can quote me on it.
Whatever.
Keychain, what up?
Well, I'm going to put it in our other chat.
It's got Samuel L. Jackson on it, and he's saying some nice words.
When he pushes eyeball.
Oh, boy.
Here, buy me that.
It's a picture of a cat on it with holding a cookie. And then there's a keychain, a key.
Or it's retractable.
It hangs off the cat's tail.
That sounds cute.
Well, you can see
Pusheen.
You can see it for yourself. Go to our SBU chat room, the one that actually displays all the wonderful gifts and stuff.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are asking about, in Spreaker chat, and I'm like, well, she's killing it over in SBU chat where she can throw up gifts all day.
Yeah, even tasteful pictures of Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Okay. Oh, those are cute.
I don't know, Bev. Is she worth $10?
Why, sure. She's worth $1 million, don't you think?
I got a birthday next month, so
Nice.
it's okay if I ask.
I like that. That is so cute. I'd like to get a Datsun keychain.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Datsun videos lately and thought of y'all.
Datsun.
Oh, I love my Datsuns. And what's funny is I always thought they were ugly until Bob got our first Dino. And then I was in love.
I keep thinking they're talking about Datsun, the old car that we used to have. But she's talking about Dachuns. She's talking about the dogs.
Yep.
Yes, the wiener dogs.
Das Hound. Yeah, yeah.
I know, I never did understand how they got the pronunciation of it.
It's German.
I know, but Datsun, it should be Dachshund. Dachshund, or however you said it. Oh, gosh. And then we have our Elliot.
Elliot Ness.
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you guys, it's so funny. About 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
The other morning, I got woke up by our two kids chasing each other around the house. Well, I'm like, that's so unusual for them. And then I seen that they were chasing a mouse.
Oh, wow.
And Dino, we got this chest that was his dad's that we got sitting in front of our couch for a coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
And Dino went in between it and the couch, and all of a sudden, I didn't see Dino, but all of a sudden I seen a mouse flying up in the air. Dino was catching a mouse along
That's
with
what
it.
that breed was designed for. It was to go into these long rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And, go after these vermin. So he was playing on his instinct.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it was funny
it was
to see
the
the rat
funniest
flying in the air and...
Yeah, all you seen was a mouse flying up. And the funny thing is Elliot just plays with them till they're dead. I mean, he don't eat them. Oh, Bob says Tom and Jerry laugh out loud.
I had an interesting thing happen to me once with a small little field mouse. I had opened up a drawer in the kitchen, and it popped out, and I instinctively just swat it in the middle of the air, and the window was open, and it just flew out the window.
Far out.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I got it out of the house.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
I got one for you, Bev. It's more of a sweet thing. Last weekend, we were having that terrible hot weather. Because the weather changed.
I don't want to talk about it.
Because the weather changed drastically. I got a killer headache in the afternoon. This is before SBU. No, it was late in the afternoon. So I went and laid back down. I got in the dark in the bed, and I covered up. And I mean, it was bad. And I was moaning and groaning. And all I have is Advil. I took some Advil. So I'm laying there. I don't know how long I laid there, but it was a little bit. And then after a while, here comes Muffin. She crawls up. I'm laying on my side. She crawls up my entire body. And I'm sitting there moaning and groaning. And I look at her, and she looks like distressed. Like, what do I do for you? And she gets right up under my chin and cuddles and curls up under my chin. And I had my right hand laying over a pillow or something, just sort of outstretched, but near my face. She reached up with one of her paws and grabbed my hand and put it around the side of my hand like she's holding my hand. And if I could have gotten my phone out and taken a picture of it, I would have. But I knew she would. Anytime I touch my phone, she moves, like she knows. But it was so precious, I wanted to cry. Just can't believe it.
Animals can sense that. Animals know when their parents aren't feeling good.
Well, when you're sitting there moaning and groaning, she's like, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" It's like the only thing I can do is lay on you and purr. And and I was saying, "You are the best cat that was ever created." And she stayed with me for 30 or 40 minutes, not even moving.
Wow.
And it was so damn precious. I almost couldn't take it.
Aww, that is so sweet.
I don't know if anybody believes that story, but I swear to you it happened, and
I believe
it was precious.
Elliot will do the same thing. I mean, he tries to comfort us, and Dino does too. And Bob will use Elliot as a pillow sometimes. He's so big.
What kind of dog is Elliot?
No, Elliot's a cat.
Oh, cat, okay. My
He's
bad.
Just a big old tomcat.
Well, he's not much of a dog then, is he?
No, he's not. I'd say he weighs about 30, 35 pounds. He's taller and longer and all around bigger than Dino.
Well, somebody should tell Karen. I I said somebody should tell Karen. That's actually a kind of a joke where if you see some of the joke memes that are out there.
That took me a while to get that. Every time there's a cat meme where a cat's doing something or saying something, the cat's always addressing this woman called Karen. And that's kind of the joke. Anytime you've got a cat meme or cats talking, it's like, well, what are you going to do now, Karen? Look at this, Karen. Hey, Karen. So Karen's just like the go-to name to put in these memes. So that's what he means.
Karen's the cat lady.
Yeah. Whoever the cat's talking to is named Karen. So.
There's a cat lady for you. I just put it up in...
I've never known one woman named Karen that was any good for me. They've always brought me nothing but misery.
You know what worries me about
Stop
that
naming
picture,
your children Karen.
Bev, is that here's this woman throwing cat food all over in the kitchen, and the end result is what I do not want to be around.
Uh-huh. Yeah, gotta be nuts to own that many cats. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, what it doesn't show you is this woman, drinking out of a paper bag in a living room watching her stories. And, and taking some of the leftover cat food and nibbling on that.
What I just told you about what Muffin did, she adds value to life. The things, so...
Value to your painful life.
Yes, my painful life. I have pain right now. But, so... having more than two, I don't know, but Leanne certainly has lived that life. Leanne has 3 cats, and one of them is pregnant. So.
Oh, God.
3 cats, a dog, and how many horses?
A herd, a miniature donkey, a miniature horse, and a donkey.
Oh, we've had
partridge in a pear
2 dogs. We've had 2 dogs and 2 cats at the same time, right there?
No, that was just Bob.
Yeah, trying to get his attention. He gets on the computer and I'm a widow.
When Surlana gets on her phone, I become non-existent, like Thanos just snapped me out of existence.
Well, we don't have that much to do together that we both... Like, you like your stories, let's just put it that way in old man terms. I'm not interested in them. I'm totally cool with you doing your own thing.
Are you busting on the fact that I still watch NCSI?
Well, apparently there's 8,000 episodes, so you're never going to catch up.
I'm current, thanks to the CBS app. And a kind of a sad episode I just watched was Ducky retired. That was sad.
Oh, yeah, that was sad.
See, Bev knows what I'm talking about. Up high, Bev.
That's all right. I'll just keep browsing this website while y'all talk.
I didn't know if that was like a premonition of Mark Hamill's possible departure from the show. Because, he only signed on to do last season and this season. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Bev, we're hitting the top of the hour. I got to take our break. But, we love you. We got enough. We got enough love in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys, too.
And we love mentioning you at the end of our program every night.
Oh, I love it when you do. I think it's makes me feel special.
Yes. and then I guess scratch behind Bob's ear for us, okay?
Okay, I'll give him a good scratch.
You never know. It might get his leg moving, so...
I'm not going there.
Okay.
All right. Have a good Samuel L. Jackson night.
Okay. I love you guys so much.
Bye, Bev.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta go back and see what she posted, because I didn't see any of this Samuel L. Jackson content.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlana's Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
I'm Solaris Blue Ribbon, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back.
So I was trying to tell you.
It could have been on mute. Anyway, so what else, Surlana?
I guess I should have tried. That number again to call in if you're wanting to call in is 713-701-5214. That's 713-701. I'm trying to type it. 701. What the heck are you doing?
Is it that loud?
Yes.
I'm opening
You're right next to your mic.
It's not right.
Maybe it's a good thing we're ending it all because we're not professionals.
Look. Be cool.
What in the world? are you doing?
Putting my headphones on.
Make some more noise. Beat on the desk or something.
Did you end up reviewing the chat session this evening?
No, I had to get up and leave and go do something and come back. Oh dear, it's gotten warm in here again. Oh, somebody's calling.
Well, let's find out who it is.
Let's find out.
And caller, who is this?
Hello, this is Catalina.
It's Catalina.
Hey, Catalina.
Yay.
How are you this feisty evening?
I'm doing good. Today was a beautiful spring day, and I always know it finally hit spring when I can go out by the pool and put some shorts on, maybe a bathing suit top, and put baby oil all over.
It's like a heck of a day.
I was going to say, of course, I don't get the same effect by doing the same thing, you know. So I hope you had a good lay down by the pool kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't lay out in it too long, you know. Like, you know, when it's you know, you've got all the cement around there, so you really only have to lay like 20 minutes, and then I mean you feel like, okay, the full body is cooked, and then you turn over, you know.
Well,
like
with me, I usually get some kid that yells, "He's drowning! Push him back into the pool! Push him back into the pool!"
Oh, no. Well, you know, the thing is, I really understand then study on the sun, and really only the sun has the most intense amount of vitamin D, which really can heal so many things.
I know, and I know I need to be out there in the sun.
Yeah.
I've got psoriasis, and I've heard that will really help, but I'm just like, I don't like being outside. It's not any fun for me. I hate it.
You know, it would probably change your disposition.
There's things that fly and have stingers, and then there's mosquitoes, and then there's, you know, other random insects that can land on you, and then the sun can burn you or give you skin cancer, and then, you know, possible sniper fire. It's just not good fun out there. It's not good times.
Well, Texas got intense heat, but I'm sure the spring. Now, what I remember about Texas in the spring is you have beautiful wildflowers there, right?
The blue bonnets are in full bloom, and there's this. It's a website, and it's a magazine, but I follow them on Facebook. It's Texas Hill Country, where Spaceboy's from. They have the most gorgeous photos of the blue bonnets and the wildflowers.
Actually, the Chronicle just posted some pictures of Big Bend National Park where they're in bloom. And
of course, Brenham, where Bluebell
ice cream
is from, named after the Bluebells. And I've never gone on a journey to see them. My friend Leanne has. She used to go every year and take her son. Now he's too cool for that sort of thing. So, but she would always get these really amazing photos of the blue bonnets, and which we appreciate because she and I are not native Texans, but yet we still really enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. I heard that the Mojave Desert, I guess, I heard there was a lot of flowers. I'd love to take a drive out there. And somebody said a 10-mile lake, I mean, you know, just naturally made from all these rains out in the Mojave Desert. That's just unbelievable. You know, because it's just been horribly drought here forever. And so, yeah, some amazing things have happened. I was talking to my friends in Montana, and, you know, they got record snow there, and my one friend was telling me that I was so bad about animals that can't hide from the weather, like cows or horses or, you know, things that are not given any protection. But I guess he was telling me that one of the ranchers was out there with a backhoe trying to dig their steers out because the snow was as high as the cows. Isn't that horrible?
No, I can't imagine, because we will get every so many years we'll get a little sprinkle that dusts your car, and that's it. You can't even make a snowball with it. It's not even anything to write home about. That's the most that will ever happen here. So we can't comprehend it.
The words of "Do you want to build a snowman?" does not compute here.
Yeah, we're like, what is that?
Well, maybe that's a good thing, because if you're used to warm weather and then you get, snow.
It's happened a few times. We had an ice storm, which is, I think, worse than the snow, and
oh, that's painful.
They made us stay home, but yet people still got out.
And I was going to say, here in Houston, why we pray for snow is so that we can't go to work.
Because we're not versed with it, we don't understand it, we don't know how to deal with it, we're not prepared for it, so we just shut the city down. That's what we do, and we're like, yay!
Of course, people like us that can actually connect, if we can connect to the internet, then we could still work.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That too. Well, I got friends in so many different states, and my friends in northern Arizona told me none of their neighborhoods are used to so much snow, and so there were snowplows for the regular main streets, but not for any of the suburb housing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just snowbound, for quite a long time because nobody had any snow equipment.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of odd because, Carol Perrault posted on Facebook, and she's from Arizona, about snow, and I'm like, really? I mean, I know they get the flash floods out there, but I've never really heard of snow unless, now when my uncle lived in Tucson, he would talk about the snow getting on the mountains out there, Mount Lemmon and stuff, but not like snow down in the city kind of thing.
Right. So I was going to talk about hoping that you would stay and do the show till your 4th anniversary, September, get through the summer. That would be awesome. And I really love your history shows, because I'm a history buff. When you do exposés on certain subjects.
Right.
Well, there's another one coming.
Right.
I just don't know when to slot it in, or when the Spaceboy thinks the next history topic should be.
Right.
I already know what I want to do. So.
Well, I know
Yeah, you know what? It's really good. I love, one of my favorite movie channels is TCM, Turner Collection Movie.
Oh, yeah.
And specifically in the 30s, the 1930s, because kind of America really radically started changing after World War II, as we know, and especially with all the paranormal and spaceship crashings and aerospace industry and blah, 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 going forward. But up to that point, I mean, it still was kind of, the country was still kind of wild and had some of its innocence in some respects, despite this, because a lot of people were just basic. People weren't so manipulated and controlled by, the ultra tech that later came, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not just narrowly computers, but a lot of different stuff. So when I look at those movies, I try to compare the evolution as humans as we evolved, not necessarily sometimes the tech, but just the way that they thought and felt, because they were way more earthy back then.
Yes.
Salt of the earth.
I think it all went wrong whenever our industrial revolution happened. As long as we stayed agrarian, we're growing our own organic food, taking care of ourselves, and staying close to the earth. That's probably the healthiest we've ever been, the most moral, I guess, or the most mature. So we're busy and we're working for ourselves to stay alive. The minute we started getting convenienced, we started turning into a-holes. I think that's what happened. But I'm not giving up my conveniences. I'll just stay. I tell Spaceboy this all the time. I'm not a nice person, and the bad thing about that is I have no interest in being a nice person.
See,
that's what's terrible.
I know of the people you speak of, and being from the hill country, I know a lot of people that are salt of the earth kind of people, and when my relationship with Surlana is really kind of a yin and yang kind of situation, is that I do try to be a good person and help out people when I can, and hopefully that Surlana will see that and
yes,
and learn.
it's wonderful that you're a good person. You are a good person. I acknowledge that. And, you know, I try not to corrupt you. Hopefully I don't think I have, but I'm not. I'm sorry, and I can't be.
Does life beat you down, Surlana?
Yes, it has, and it's just been like 3 years of being beat down. I just can't take it anymore, so I'm going to beat back. I'm going to beat it back. I'm going to punch it in the face.
Yeah. Sometimes you just say, you know what, there's got to be a change in life, and I'm just not going to do certain things that are going to beat me down. And then, you know, I've had to adjust my lifestyle a lot because, you know, I just don't have the funds like I used to. And the things that I thought I absolutely needed, or just certain ways that I grocery shopped and stuff, I thought, well, this is a standard. This is the way I always did it forever, for years, decades. And then I just said, well, I can't do that anymore. I'll have to change a different way. And so I do that, and then I think, well, you know, I'm a good person. You're a good person. Basically, it's a good person. You know, what's the universe going to give to me? I did everything right. I paid my bills. I paid my taxes. You know, I'm an honest person. I did everything, you know. I was raised religious. You do ABC. I did all that. So what's the universe going to give to me today?
I've turned
that's kind of the way I look at it.
I've turned the other cheek. I've been, you know, I totally understand where you're coming from. But I think there's a part of me that keeps on saying, okay, I can walk this walk a little bit more. Maybe I haven't reached my enlightenment yet, and that's my destiny, and so I keep walking the walk, even though I'm fighting all this negative energy coming my way.
Well, I've learned that, one, the universe owes you nothing, and it knows it, and two, I've learned if you actively put your crap and your negativity and your out there on purpose, you're going to get it back in some way, and in a way maybe you don't expect, and in a horrible. So I at least try to keep my not niceness to myself as much as I can. So I'm not trying to F up someone else's day with my problems. I'm just like, I just don't see a lot of good.
But if the universe doesn't owe us anything, why did they create us?
I don't know. I think it's a random series of accidents. It's like somebody was mixing a soup, and then somebody knocked some DNA into the soup. I'm like, oh crap! Now we've got humans. Now what are we going to do?
What you're saying is we're a joke.
Yes.
Whoopsie.
We're a joke.
And
somebody added paprika, and we're the paprika, and it wasn't supposed to go in there. So.
And see,
so you don't believe in like the natural evolution of life, like it goes from the plant to the animal to the human to a spiritual being?
No.
It's just a big mishmash to you.
It's a really horrible joke.
And see, I think I'm like the person who cannot accept the fact that life is a joke, that there has got to be some kind of meaning to it, and that in the end it all works out for me as a human.
Well, I'm happy for you.
See, I was waiting for it. That's her go-to.
I think that's a wonderful way to believe. Just, don't force that garbage on me.
And now you know why we have our arguments.
But Surlana, can you ever look back and look at like one really fabulous time in your life that you just thought, wow?
I have tried to do that, Catalina. I have, and I cannot. I don't know if it's just because I'm old or I've got some predetermined Alzheimer's coming on. I can't remember things like, did that really happen to me or did I dream it? Because my dreams get to where they're so real. I'm like, oh, that didn't even happen to me. So the only thing I can tell you is I don't have a specific memory, but I have the feeling of being a child where I didn't have to pay taxes. I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to pay mortgage. I didn't have to pay off a car. I didn't have responsibility weighing me down and worrying me to death and, buried under debt. I was just free to be myself. So I guess that's the last thing I remember is never being having that feeling since I've been an adult.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that feeling of freedom is definitely a happiness, because I can remember when I was my late teens, I worked on fishing boats, and only woman with 25 guys, usually. Mm-hmm. Once in a while, a brave woman would come on the fishing boat. But we'd go out, every day. I worked different boats. Sometimes we leave at 3 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes I work on others at crack of dawn. But, you'd leave the mainland, and I think about 3 miles out, then you couldn't see the mainland anymore. It didn't take long, right? That's why I don't believe in, that's why I believe the Earth is curved, not flat, because, if you only go 3 miles out and you can't see the land anymore, how can it be flat? It has to be curved. So anyways, and then once we would go out, I used to go out by the Channel Islands, and back then, so this was early 80s, there wasn't any air pollution in the air at all, no chemtrails, nothing like that. And there was just this incredible mystical feeling. And so once you got way out there, you're really in the hands of the universe or God or whatever, and I always felt that. And you were totally free. I mean, you could die at any moment, if the boat sank or something like that. But I never feared that. Of course, I was late teens, but I just felt extremely free and happy. And then the crew did too. And then when we had to come back, as soon as we started seeing the mainland again, we all the crew felt the same way. We got this horrible depression. You could feel the energy. And I think it was because we all knew that wasn't the real world. That everything you just said, that pressure, that's the delusion.
And
that's
it's carefully constructed, I think, to keep us in our place and miserable, to where we think, well, we've got to work hard, we've got to do this, we've got to contribute, and we've got to make money so we can do this and we can pay this off. And that's a carefully constructed fabrication to keep us in our place. And I hate it, because I hate to think that's all that life is you get up, you go to work, you do this, you pay that, you owe these people, and then you go to bed and you get up and you do the same thing over. It is a terrible existence.
Well, my suggestion, maybe you and Spaceboy should maybe take a cruise.
Yeah.
Or not a cruise, but just maybe a day trip in the Gulf of Mexico. Go shrimping or something. Shrimp boating.
Let's do something that increases our chances of drowning.
Well, but in the Gulf, they don't have waves, do they? They don't have big swells, do they?
Well, we can go down to Galveston and look at the dirty water. We've done that. We've done that together. First date.
We rode the ferry.
Yeah. That's exciting as a guy. Fun?
Well, it was for her because she got to spend time with me.
No, I've never been on a ferry before. That was unique.
Cold October.
Well, I know that just getting on a boat, getting off the mainland and just, and then your hands, your life is in the hands of just the unknown. That actually takes away that horrible heaviness of the Matrix.
So you're
because
saying
you're finally free.
We need to be pirates. That's what I'm hearing.
Or
just for a day. You know what I mean? Through the summer, just say for one day we're going to go down. And
well, if I go missing, you know where to look.
So you guys have never been on a boat there out in the Gulf of Mexico? Out there?
We haven't been on a cruise boat, no.
No.
Not a cruise boat, but don't they have fishing boats? Don't they have sports fishing boats? Or just
no.
And we haven't been on a fishing boat. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have. There's a ferry.
Wait a minute. I just had a memory, Catalina. I've been on a riverboat.
Don't they have a riverboat?
I've been on a riverboat on a Red River back home. Now I don't know if a gambling boat counts because it's locked and docked. But there you go. I've been on riverboats.
A riverboat where they floated it in a certain area because there was no water in the river, so they filled it up around the boat just so it could stay legal.
Well, yeah, it has to be on the water to be gambling. But before any of that ever came to Shreveport, Bossier City, they had the River Rose, it was called, and it was a paddle riverboat, and it went a little bit up and a little bit down. It didn't go very far, and I was a kid, and they gave us Shirley Temples to drink.
Nice.
And that was that. And then years and years later, I grew up, became an adult. Here came the riverboats, the gambling riverboats, and they are, like you're saying, it's a walled off area of water where they float, but they don't ever leave. That they're like locked in with the shore.
No, you have to be absolutely off. You got to be out. Got to be. I'm not talking far. 5 miles.
I'm worried that would go to my head. Like, I would turn into the guy from, I'd be like chasing the white whale and, Moby Dick and...
Captain Ahab?
I'd turn into a Captain Ahab, and everybody would mutiny against me, and they'd have to lock me up in a cellar in the boat somewhere.
Now, as a kid, my family would always go out. We would fish by the jetties, but there was several times my uncle would have a boat, and we would go out further into the water. And I did not like it at all as a kid. When it wasn't really my cup of thing as a kid, or just to be that far out and feeling vulnerable in the middle of the water.
See, that's what happened to me. The first time Spaceboy and I drove to California, we got lost in Topanga Canyon, so we didn't know where we were, and we entered it, and we got all the way through it, and when we came out the other side, well, we didn't know the other side was PCH.
Yep, you're in Malibu.
And we didn't know, hello, there's the Pacific Ocean, and I'm like...
The
Pacific Ocean, and I was like, I was not ready to see it. He didn't know it was there. I didn't know it was there. It scared the hell out of me.
Really?
And I said, pull over, I need to see this. And I saw... how small I was next to this thing. When you see movies and television, you cannot get the scope of the ocean. You cannot unless you're down there on the beach and you're like, I said, look, babe, that thing wants to kill me. It doesn't want me in it, on it, or near it. I want to take some pictures and let's get the heck out of here before it gets any closer.
Wow.
So
that
you
was a really
see
paranormal experience.
Yeah, you see how insignificant you are as a human being next to the ocean. And he's like, we should not be doing anything on the ocean, in the ocean, nothing. Because it doesn't want us out there and it doesn't like us. So it's going to spit us out.
Yeah, it has definitely. There's a paranormal to it. I've had many paranormal experiences when I was out at sea. But for you guys, I can totally understand that. But, I would think down, I've just seen movies of the Gulf of, Mexico there by Texas. It just seemed so calm. It just seemed like you could just
like
go out there.
Like Corpus Christi, the
Galveston's
water,
dirty.
The water's pretty clear. You can actually see through the water in Corpus Christi, but
not Galveston.
Not Galveston because you got the ship channels and
it's all churned up and muddy.
Yeah.
Or Louisiana. You guys are close to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Ish. I don't know. That's just my suggestion maybe for the summer. If you really want to get unburdened from that whole, matrix, I know exactly what you're saying. That's sometimes the only key. Either that or, go off on a spaceship. But that's harder.
So this image I'm getting, Catalina, is Lieutenant Dan on the shrimp boat with Bubba. I mean, not Bubba, but Forrest. And
the Bubba Shrimp Guy.
Yes, and him, finally accepting his life and his reality and finding peace within himself and then jumping into...
Oh, the guy that lost his leg.
Yes, Lieutenant Dan.
That's right. I remember that. That was a great scene, him up on the mast, screaming at the gods, give it to me, and it was raining and all that.
Right.
Finally liberated. Yes. That's kind of what Surlana needs, just this liberation.
Maybe. I think I need to just get out. I think if I just could get out of debt, that would give me at least 4 days worth of happiness.
It cracks me up real quick, Catalina, is that, she talks about, the winning the lottery, right? And I'll say, hey, the lottery's up to like $400 million. And she'll say something to the effect like, can we even live off of that?
Well, first of all, how much the tax? You figure at least half of that's going right back to tax.
And then that's when I said, well,
so it's 200 million.
And then she says, can we live off of 200 million? And then now it's been more of a push lately because I tell her, I said, if I won the lottery, half of it's yours.
Is that because of Texas law?
No, it's because I'm a nice, generous husband, and I'm going to give you half of whatever we win. I know it's hard for you to understand
but
because
you did say Texas is
equal community state.
So it's everything split.
Yeah.
Equally.
So in other words, if I did something wrong and you decide to divorce me, and you get half of everything.
I don't want half of your everything, so you just keep that. So if we get 200 million,
money doesn't always give you happiness.
I reserve the right to test that, because if I throw money at the things that are upsetting me right now, that will go away. If the debt goes away, that is 80% of the burden that's weighing me down right now. That's 80% of it. If I don't have to go to work, and if I'm set for at least 10, 20 years, we could be doing Spaceboy Universe as our job and pay ourselves. And it's not like we're not the kind of people like, let's go buy a mansion and cars, and we would probably try to get rid of even more stuff. We'd probably even try to sell more things and, and not buy more things. Now, I would buy a vintage, like a Charger or something like that. I would get a good vintage car.
What you're saying is decrease our footprint.
I would actually get rid of a bunch of stuff, and then I would start giving things to people like my friend who does horse rescue. She's a 501c. I would give her all the money she would need to run that, and it would be going to places that would do the most good. So it wouldn't be all about us and a lavish lifestyle, because what do I need with more crap? It's just more things to get rid of. And if something does happen to us, that's more burden for someone else in my family to deal with. So,
right. Yeah, a lot of the stuff's not going to make you happy. I was reading this article recently about how you rewire your brain, and it's what kind of the way you think when you wake up in the morning. So you want to get 80% out of debt every morning. You say, I am 80% out of debt. Not only will I be out of it, I am it. I am it. I am it. I am 80%. And you keep telling your brain what you want and what you are, and it rewires supposedly your brain so that at some point you don't keep doing the things that are keeping you in a place that is making you unhappy. And I thought that makes total sense, because we really are a product of habit, and that is our wiring. So you have to rewire it by telling it no. You wake up and even if you write it on a Post-it, and you just keep saying that, drilling it into your head. And I thought, wow.
I posted a link on this random site I found, 10 warning signs the universe sends you when you're on the wrong path. And what I had typed in there was, is this why I keep getting told to think positive? And then why is it when someone tells me to think positive, I just want to punch them in the face for saying that. So, but they were saying
you could rewire your brain to be not positive. The point is that it's just a rewiring. You if you want something different, that's how you rewire it. So
but they're saying
repeating.
Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are focused negatively, and this is creating unwanted circumstances and has to do with vibrational frequencies. So I'm thinking, is that why you always get told, think positive, because it actually has a physical repercussion? I don't know. It's just an article.
Yeah. Think positive to me that's just a general thing. To me, it's more like you write it down exactly what you want. Well, you just said before, I want to be 80% out of debt. Well, that's a perfect little mantra. Not only am I am 80% out of debt. So you're thinking of yourself when you wake up in the morning that you are already 80% out of debt. And then you walk in those shoes. What does that feel like? You know what I mean? It's just rewiring. I thought that was brilliant. So I've been trying to do that myself, where I'm not thinking of where I'm at that would make me unhappy. I'm feeling what I already want to be. It's just a form of rewiring, and just seeing how that works.
Well, Let's see if I can beat that into Surlana and see what the outcome is.
Ah.
Catalina,
Or just get her back on the boat. Get her on a boat.
Get her on the boat. Sell her to the
All
sunset.
right, well, take care. Thanks for letting me yak at you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's great to hear from you.
Yeah, great to hear from you.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
I like your GIF you posted over there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the guy slapping away.
I thought of you when I saw that.
Negativity, bad vibes, drama.
Yeah, that's what we need to do, swap them away.
Slap it away.
We'll be right back after this.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Seen any good, excuse me, choking up here. Seen any good fruit lately?
Stop it.
Okay.
We can't talk about that. Yeah, if only I had prepped for this show, we'd have more things to talk about. So I could do a women's history topic next week, and then maybe the week after. I mean, is this too much history together?
What do you mean history together? It's a staple of our show.
Well, you know, I've got a history topic we're kind of waiting for me to come around to, but it is Women's History Month, but it's not necessarily history. It's more like, hey, here's some women maybe you don't know about, like, type of thing, you know. I just saw the replica prop gun you're talking about, the aliens. Holy smokes. You could have a real gun for that money.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, that can hurt people. Yeah, so sorry, I'm distracted by things I don't want or need.
Or can't afford.
Can't afford.
I mean, you know, I'd love to get that gun.
Well, I will admit, I just put 2 links in your Facebook Messenger for 2 things I actually do want, but they're small and they're affordable.
So you're going to put off a history topic for a woman history topic?
Well, I don't know. It's up to you. You're kind of the one that's kind of keeping these topics rotated so we don't get bogged down in one category.
Well, I know that as soon as we do a topic on history, we'll get demonetized from YouTube.
Like we're just making so much money.
The thing is that...
it doesn't matter.
Then let's do the Vietnam War.
Well, if you title it this way... Title it like "Let's learn about
Leprechauns."
the Vietnam War." Yeah, put those words "Let's learn about" instead of making it sound conspiracy theory ish.
When I did the Korean War, it was, or what was it? The last topic? I see, conspiracy.
Yeah, I see.
I used the word conspiracy in there, and that's what got us.
Yeah, because they don't even want to stop to examine the nature of the show. They're just like, it's conspiracy. You're spreading lies and paranoia. We got to stop it. And it's just, that was the whole reason I did the show on that topic, was to try to dispel some of that.
Well, I hashtag the labels to be more educational.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
guess
just wouldn't have it.
Nope.
See, that is censorship.
Mm-hmm.
There's no... They can say, we're trying to blah, blah, blah. No, that's censorship. I get it. It's your ball court. It's your rules, but it's still censorship. So what are we going to do next week? What would you like me to do? You want me to do that topic, or I can do that topic?
I mean, I'd like to cover the topic because you've already covered Nixon. You've
it's weaving into the narrative we've got.
Fabric of history of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm. You could type it about that. 20th century topics. Learning about Vietnam War. And if they demonetize that and be like, why are you trying to keep people from learning about our history? And then you see what they say. So we do that?
Yeah, because then I get to bring up Wilson.
I know that's your favorite
president.
Upset topic. I think it goes Star Wars, President Wilson. I don't know what else.
Well, it all comes back to if because Ho Chi Minh went to France during the ending of World War II, and President Wilson wouldn't even talk to him, and he could have easily avoided the Vietnam War then, back in the 30s, or late 20s, early 30s, something like that, and he blew him off. And so, if we're going to blame anybody for the Vietnam War, we should blame him.
Well, I'll find out, won't I?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is a topic. I'm aware this is a thing that happened. I know it's a war. I know we were involved in it, and that is the most I know. But I will find out, like I did with the Korean War. I'm not saying I fully know everything, but I feel like I know a lot more than I did, which was nothing. So this is very educational for me. So if y'all don't get anything out of it, sorry, but I will have learned something. And that's what's important. Yes, no?
Well, LBJ was definitely a part of that process, Gene. And, he kept us in the war. But I guess just looking at the conversations in the chat room, it sounds like we need to cover the Vietnam War next week.
Okay. I'll do my best unless something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Need to update the website. So we'll do that, and then I'd hate for this month to go by. So we still have a whole another week. Maybe I could find some interesting women to talk about.
We talked about Brie Lawson. What else you want?
She's not interesting or important. Sorry, Brie.
I don't know. Gene might say a few words in our chat room about her.
It sucks. Whoa, that scared the crap out of me.
Well, it's a call. Caller, you there?
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
It's Donna.
Yes,
hey,
Donna.
It scared me, Donna.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, normally we don't hear
I
that.
put it as a chat. I wanted to call in, but I didn't know which number to use.
Well, yeah, this one. The other one is down for
maintenance.
For maintenance, let's say.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to check and make sure before I called. So I'm glad I get to talk to you and can hear you this time.
Oh, yeah. We apologize about last week.
That was just a cord that had come undone. That's all it was.
I know. Anyway, as you guys know, because you've seen my Facebook, I almost died in September. And it's taken me a while to get back, up and going. So I just wanted to let you know that I wasn't ignoring everybody.
No, we didn't think that.
Sick.
No.
I know, but some people think I was, ignoring and stuff. But
yeah, well, they think if you don't live your entire life
sick
on social media, then there's something wrong with you. So we think the reverse.
Exactly.
We think you're off doing something to be healthy.
Yeah, to detox from social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, a lot of things have been going on, and one of the things, because I'm really into the shadow beings, shadow animals. The other day, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, my sister was here, and we were watching TV, and she said, "Oh, my husband must be home." And I just said, "No, it's not your husband." And she says, "Well, there's a shadow." I said, "That's not your husband."
Does that freak her out?
And then the shadow, usually they go away when you notice them, but it actually came to the back door, because I have a glass window in the back door. And it was standing there, and then it went away. It freaked my sister out, and I said, "Oh, that's just my friend. No big deal. I see him all the time." But there's one thing that I want to make people understand. Not all shadow beings are demons or from hell or whatever. The ones that I see are actually interdimensional beings. I have finally figured it out from watching them. And a lot of times they have instruments in their hands and they're taking readings. And it always seems to happen just before a major event. And then, unfortunately, there was a huge major event in New Zealand this week.
Right, the shooting.
And I just think that they tend to come out a lot. Now, when it comes to Earth, that's when I start seeing the little rabbits. And I call them rabbits. When they're shadows, you can't really tell features. So, that's what I think is that they're interdimensional and that there's a disturbance in the flow of the energy around the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like the vibrations are different, but they start to align with maybe whatever our frequency is, vibration. And they could be on a quantum level, too. I mean, it could be, things like the Hadron Collider is promoting it, maybe accidentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it started picking up in the 70s. And that's when they built the first collider.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I see it all the time. And it seems to get stronger at certain times, like I said, just before major events happen.
It kind of reminds me of, I can't remember the guys who were on Coast to Coast, but they used to do this thing called time tracks. And they used some kind of computer to measure out for possible future events. And I guess it tied in with, when you as people would get a sense, not knowing directly what was about to happen, but they got a sense that something was coming. Just kind of like what you're describing, but just change normal everyday humans with interdimensional beings. And it was really fascinating. I'm going to have to dig that up and see what those guys' names are.
Yeah, I know there are some people that, that do that. A lot of remote viewers run across shadow people.
Mm-hmm.
That I've read a lot of different things about that, and then usually they don't talk about them, which is kind of strange to me. I mean, if you're traveling, in a remote area and then you see shadowy figures, which this is how they describe them, and you try to focus in on them and they disappear, why aren't they adding that into the shadow people, the shadow phenomena?
Well, the shadow people phenomenon is quite fascinating. To your knowledge, have you been touched by any of them, or have you made any kind of physical contact, or has there been any that have...
Unfortunately, no, I haven't made any physical contact, but I have gotten their confidence up, where I can actually look at them and they don't take off right away. They don't disappear, which I think is pretty good. And unfortunately, when you get a camera out, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to photograph any yet.
The only thing I question is, I've never had an encounter or anything like this, so I think cats and dogs can see stuff we can't. And I'm not talking about just in the dark, because I have caught our cat, and I will get up and go look, and I'm like, there is not an insect, there wasn't a noise. I'm like, there is nothing in this hallway, but she is staring intently at a specific spot, and I'll even turn the light on. I'm like, there is nothing there, but she will not move. And I'm like, okay, you just be a little creepy animal by yourself, and I'll just leave. Have fun with that. I don't even want to know.
Right, because animals can see in different ranges of light than we can.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about when the dogs were laying on the floor here, and the guy came to the back door, the shadow man, and my sister saw him, the dogs didn't react because they have been so used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
And before, when they would react is when the shadows would go really fast. They'd be gone. And I think, I think that something is going on with the animals, too, because they just don't seem to react to the shadows anymore.
Maybe they're used to it, or they've gotten like, oh, this is just normal.
Have you been experiencing an increase in these shadows?
Yes, I have. In fact, earlier today I saw a whole bunch of little shadow rabbits in the yard.
Cool.
Excuse me. So I know something's going on. Oh, and also, just before Poco went off, the volcano just south of us, I was seeing them. So I think it's going to hit again.
Well, I know we've been hearing a lot of Yosemite a lot lately, and the big what is it, the caldera?
Yeah.
Out there, and then of course I've been reading up on if that was to go off, how it would really devastate the United States pretty badly, so it'll be curious to know about animal reports coming out of Yellowstone.
Well, I know that they had a migration thing happen.
Yeah.
About 2 months ago, where suddenly all the birds were leaving the area, and then they had some kind of I don't know exactly what it was with one of the fissures. The mud, where the mud is.
Yeah.
It went up. It built itself up. It lifted the walkway and everything up where they couldn't walk on it. They had to close it. That was just a couple months ago.
Well, that'll be a pretty big catastrophe if that thing goes.
It's overdue, they say, way overdue. Should be next, they say.
Well, the other part of the United States that I've been hearing a lot of seismic activity is around the Seattle area. That subduction plate going underneath the continental plate of North America over there towards Seattle. A lot of people are saying that's way overdue too, and that'll cause a heck of a tsunami if it ever releases itself.
Yeah, that one will be incredible when that goes off. It's not if, it's when it goes off, because it's way past due. Well, the one in Yellowstone is something on the order of 20 or 30,000 years overdue for a major explosion. So any minute it could happen.
Well, I'd also heard some reports that they're watching Mount St. Helens over there too again. There's been some seismic activity going on, and for those who know about 1980, back in May, I believe it was, when that thing went off. That was quite the.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember as a kid.
Yeah, I was living in California at the time. I remember it too.
All that ash covered a lot of the United States, and but yeah, there is a lot of seismic activity going on out there, Donna, and I wouldn't be surprised if the these shadow beings and animals you're seeing aren't related to something telling us from the beyond that, hey, something's about to happen.
Right. I believe that. I do believe that. Well, I'm going to not hog the whole time, so I just wanted to call in and talk to you guys.
Well, we appreciate you calling in, Donna, and we're glad you're doing okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
That happens as you get older.
I
all
understand.
Those weird little things.
I understand.
Because I know you've been having a hard time, Spaceboy.
Yeah, I have, but I've been kind of cane free lately. I've been really trying to build my strength up, and it seems to be working. I still need a cane every once in a while, but I find that I'm moving around a lot better.
Mentally, he's doing better too.
I think. Yeah, mentally I'm doing lots better.
Yeah, it seems like that. And then you're able to get a good job, so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and I always say it, the best revenge is to live, because, nobody can take that away from you.
Mm-hmm. Hear that, Surlana?
Keep going.
Well, they can shoot you and take it away from you, but I won't argue that.
Well, Okay, Surlana, they can shoot you, but you can shoot them too.
Oh, believe me, this is Texas. They will be shot.
Well, I live in Arizona. It's an open carry state.
So is Texas.
Bring it on.
We're open and concealed, and I think knives up to 8-inch blades can also be open carry.
Well, Donna, thanks for calling in, and we're sending you positive vibes your way.
Oh, I do the same to you, too.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Love you, too.
Love everybody that's listening and chatting. Love all you guys. So, thank you, and you guys have a good night. I'm going to listen over the air.
Okay, we're going to catch you next week.
Yep, we'll be here.
Yep. All righty. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Proof positive that maybe we should stay on the air.
Well, we'll see. You know, we've got a long ride to
September.
I think. All right, distracted again.
Well,
distracted by these weird stories.
There's the music, Surlana. So join us next week, our friends, when we will be doing some history here on Spaceboy Universe.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.